Hi folks, Donna Bob here. Welcome to episode 2 of Ngoro Paleo Park Challenge build. Last time we got started with our first animal, and we're going to move in and continue to build this area, increasing the Djadochta animals in order to try and get our park as fast as possible to 1 star. So Protoceratops, the first animal to go in, and the idea is to meet its needs at a minimum, so that we will have guests coming in and start to earn money while continuing to build this habitat. The information sign is in and donation box is in, and once I get it started, it's time to add the other one, which requires a new animal added to the park, which will cost money to get it in game. But the idea is that the Psittacosaurus has the same time frame, so that should provide a bonus for this exhibit. And having done that, you can see that I've spent a lot of money on the habitat. Check it all out, and we're still not quite at the full 1 star. This has been kind of frustrating for me in playing with the challenge parks, because at least once this particular combination was indeed enough to get to 1 star. In the idea that maybe if I make the park more beautiful and have everything really nice looking for the guests, that might squeak it over that last little bit. There's a lot more build in the habitat to try to make it fancier and nicer. So that was the plan. One of the things I did with raising the terrain in there is I wanted to get the backside of the exhibit there, have the fence hidden from the guests when they're in the pavilion to look at the animals. I also decided I wanted to hide the fence on the path side. You can see the rocks that I'm playing with now to get them in there, and have to drop the terrain and the habitat low enough so that it will keep the animals in there. They've been very climby. Both of these animals seem to be running on some mountain goat DNA. So you need fairly steep rocks to keep them from ending up on top of them. Don't know if that will continue to be the case in the future, but it certainly was at the time. So don't want them coming out. And the 2 animals have not quite the exact same demands for how much vegetation they have in their habitat, but they're pretty close, and that makes it relatively easy to keep them together. This is something that I think you'll see in the next video is not going to be a permanent thing with those rocks. Checking on the animal, making sure how things are working out, making sure that that's going to keep them in, which it does look like it will. And that's all to the good. So a little more work on how things look and how things look outside the exhibit as well. So a little bit of back and forth on all of that. Need to raise that a little higher, again, because of what I wanted to do about screening that fence from the pavilion. Everything needed to be a little bit higher. And seems to be working out pretty well. I wanted to spread the vegetation around a little more aesthetically, and just have the habitat look a little bit better. Do some stuff to cut down the care building. You can see it's expanded from the previous one. Once again, I used a prefab to do the basic bit of it, and added the walls, still leaving the roof off at this phase while I'm fiddling with things. A lot of work on coloring the terrain to make it more interesting. That part of the exhibit I'm working on right now, there was a little bit of a curve there which would bring the animals up to the fence, and I wanted to change that. So we're going to get some rocks more around the exhibit, since we do have that one section that does completely conceal the fence. And then to echo it on the other side where Velociraptor is, we want to keep the same environment. Since these animals are from the same formation, well, Velociraptor and Protoceratops are from the same formation, but the exhibit as a whole is all of a piece, sharing the viewing platform pavilion thing, and so their boundaries should be something similar. Velociraptor needs a higher fence than Protoceratops and Psittacosaurus, and it's also a decent climber right now, so that same situation applied, and because it is a predator, I wanted to lock it in, but already, since I hadn't achieved 1 star, I was thinking a little bit ahead to what the solution would be to get that other star animal in, and I'm going to use those rocks to sort of share a wall there, and that'll be the next video. I'm planning on sort of doing a double bonus for the holidays this week, so there's going to be a second video dropping on the usual Friday premiere day, but a little bit later. So watch out for that if you're interested. As always, help the channel out by making comments, asking questions, whatever, and liking the video if you thought it was entertaining or informative. And if you haven't subscribed already, the channel is always helped by subscriptions. So the hay beds are going in there. The animals are still not sharing very well, so since I'm planning on upping the population in there eventually, putting in more hay beds than animals right now. Same thing in Velociraptor. Still haven't unlocked the male animals yet. That'll be coming. I thought the building was looking very plain with the simple walls, so decided to put in some columns to break that up a little bit, and also help me remember where the fence boundary is. The roof is on. The idea is to make the roof a separate piece so I can pull it up and fiddle with the inside if I want to. And having done that, it's time to finish off the pavilion. And the idea that I had for this pavilion was to have it sort of have a nod toward Mongolian architecture, not necessarily being honest to goodness vernacular architecture for the country, but just some of the vibe of it. So the colorful posts and columns, you can see that's all built out of the same concrete piece with different colors, and they ended up a little tall, so had to collect all of them and sink them down a little bit so they don't come through the roof. And the first one ended up at a slightly different height than all the rest of them, so that meant coming back and fiddling with it at the end. It was getting kind of fussy selecting particularly the upper pieces there that were sharing space with the roof, but in the end it all worked out. So a little fussier perhaps than it needed to be. To add some variety, I decided I wanted to have that central roof section, and you can see I've decided to make that a higher section with more color into the building. And on the top, I wanted sort of gilded sort of architectural feature on the top. And I'm making this out of one of the Christmas ornaments because it already looks like a sphere. It comes in a nice golden color, and the base of it is just a compressed down version of the same piece, which makes life relatively easy. The little bit of hanging thing needs to be concealed, and it will be. But I think it's a nice adaptation for using one of the sort of seasonal pieces that is not going to see a lot of use in most of my parks. Decided to make the central one a little bit larger than the subsidiary ones, as it should be. And all that stuff showing through underneath, so I wanted to put a ceiling in to conceal some of that look, so that it doesn't stick out quite as much and looks a little bit cleaner when you go inside. So that's what's going on there. So you got some roof timbers and such there, and because of the slanted roof, I needed to cut off the ends there to fill the two ends that come in with the path. Is the simplest way to use the least number of pieces to hide things I don't want people to inadvertently see. I then decided that I needed some more architectural detail on that central roof, using 4 concrete arch pieces, and then narrowing them down, I can make decorative bands to add that architectural detail, just to make it a little more visually interesting. Took a little fussing to get it centered well, but there it is. And the ceiling put in, of course, hides the stuff that's going on in the roof. So that worked out pretty well. Anyway, we're getting near the end of this video now. Coming up on my low subscriber YouTube recommended time limit that the company wants. A little bit more work on the exterior, and then a quick check of status on the park. The next video will be another animal to get us over that 1-star hump, because so far anyway, it seems that your economics get much better when you get out of 1 star, and that sounds good. And there it is. This is sort of the first look at what the feel of this exhibit's going to have, and I've been doing it all on pause, so spending a lot of money, not making a lot of money, and didn't quite make our star. So tune in next time. See you soon. Till then, take care, be kind to each other out there, and that's it for now. Bye now.